simply going to consist of gold and only gold. I'm going to be breaking down the trade that I ended the week with, the trade that I was expecting to end the week with, and what the result of that was. I'm gonna pretty much go over how I could have analyzed this trade better, how I could have capitalized the correct way, but most importantly, managed my risk and gave myself a legit shot to catch this move instead of forcing the trade, trying to risk early, but pretty much also trusting the move, even though I was putting X amount on the table to pretty much risk for the trade in general. So yeah, man, we'll hop right into it. This video is not going to be long, but I do want to give a thorough breakdown on gold, and how I pretty much trade it is what this whole concept is going to be about. But it's gonna revolve around the trade that I took on Thursday to Friday daily candle, to end the week. So let's go ahead and hop into it, man. So what I was pretty much looking at all week long, I'm gonna go ahead and do a top down analysis. We have our monthly time frame, which created our first all-time high before breaking it last month, and then this month, well, the month of February. So today is March 1st. So we broke our monthly all-time high in the month of October, and then for the month of February, we created a new all-time high, 2955.79. Month of February closed bullish with a lot of exhaustion. So let's go ahead and go down to our smaller time frames. Okay, we know that our weekly time frame with last week's close created a weekly level of resistance. Now, of course, throughout the week, you're anticipating to see if the all-time high is going to hold as a level of resistance, or if we're going to continue to drive higher than our 4-hour and 1-hour highs that are being created to even create that overall monthly resistance or weekly resistance. So weekly created a bearish candle. Now we know to start the week we're at the high, so we kind of know how to go about looking for a bias. Okay, let's go to our daily time frame. Daily time frame, you see we've been pushing bullish. Price found some sort of support here, tested support here before getting that second push up to create that all-time high. We are counter trending bearish based off that daily time frame, as you guys can see. So we can do this. So let's go ahead and mark out our zone. So we see here price created that level of resistance with this bullish bearish candle, tested it along this area here. So you even have this area that's being tested based off like that median, but then you also have the high here, which held as a level of support. This one is just visible on the 4-hour. This will be visible on like the 30-minute time frame. Okay, I kind of don't like how these candles look based off my zones. I'm gonna go ahead and go to the 1-hour, see if we have cleaner structure, and we do. So let's go ahead and mark out this high here based off our 1-hour time frame. So 1-hour time frame, you guys pretty much see you have resistance, and then you have support tested, and so on. Support, then you have resistance, and then resistance as you had this exhaustion wick off. Okay, now let's go up to our high as price began to approach our level of resistance here. How did price react, and how did we get that bearish transition to come back down? So for one, we know this is our all-time high. It is also an exhaustion zone based off your 1-hour time frame at 2941. Now let's go ahead and map out our levels of support that had gotten broken. So to start our first bullish leg, our first bullish leg to pretty much get up, price pushed bullish, consolidated in this area, and then we had that push all the way up to that level of resistance. Now the first area where price found support was with this bearish bullish candle. Then you had price sit on this level right in here. Right in here. Created, tested with this bearish candle that came down. You had all this exhaustion. Then you had two doji candles. And then you had a follow up with a bullish candle. So you can be on the smaller time frames at this point in time to maybe execute entries in here, but I'm gonna go ahead and pretty much just briefly go over this area so we can see when the market began to shift and how we could have executed on that. So you have support, like I said, you could have executed in here. You had price again try to break that support. We tested along this area with this bullish engulfing, got right back above, price exhausted off of, and then you have support hold all throughout here. And then this is when you begin to see price shift. Excuse me. We could also map out another level of support here, wick right here, support here, exhausted off of it, exhausted here, and then you have price close as a level of resistance here. So you know that this is a strong level of interest and can also use it a confluence to your next trade. So as price came all the way back down, let's go ahead and map out our next support level. You have price sit on this level here. Then you also have price sit here. You could even draw another one for your median level right in here, which isn't much of a difference. It's only a 20 pip difference. So yeah, let's see. Now, when we have this overall support break here, we touch into this zone here. Price retraces, tests this level of strong support as resistance, giving you all this exhaustion, but also a bearish engulfing candle. So at that point, you can pretty much anticipate that price will hold as a level of resistance on this broken level of support, and then we can maybe begin to see that bearish transition. So you guys see here, price plays out, we kind of stay above this level of support, and majority of strength in the market is pretty much bearish at this moment. So we see here sales are still occurring in the market after that 1 hour break of structure. Price holds as a major lower high point. Then we get that break below. Now as price is breaking below these levels of support, you see price showing more buyers exhaustion, and we're forming lower high points in here. We could go ahead and mark these off and see how we can execute on the smaller time frames. And pretty much throughout the week, I was dropping videos on pretty much how I was analyzing gold and how I was executing all week. So I'm just highlighting these zones so you guys can see these areas where you can execute off of if you are on like the 15-minute time frame to the 1 minute time frame. But I'm pretty much going to be strictly breaking down the move that I executed on Thursday going into Friday. Just for the concept of this, if you do want to see the breakdown on the other moves I was executing on and how I executed on them throughout the week, then you guys could definitely take a look at my other videos. Okay, so we see here price broke this support. You see these lower high points. Can we map out another level of support? You definitely can right in here. You see here support was created after the initial, or after the second break of support here. This was the first break of support. Second, price found another level of support, came to test this support as resistance. Price held, broke below, creating like a lower low, got a retracement, price formed another lower high, and so on. Price was just making those bearish transitions. You definitely had to pay attention to technicals and how price was shifting on the smaller time frames. But the trade that I was executing on was going to be right in here after we had this drop, because I didn't execute during Asian with this wick, so I had to wait for price to shift as in terms of breaking support and then seeing a retracement to execute on that lower high opportunity, whether it was setting up on the 1 hour or 15-minute time frame. So price broke below these levels of support at this time here at 20 o'clock. This was going to be 8 p.m., 21, 9 p.m., and then 22, 10 p.m. So in this area, I was definitely interested in sell since we weren't getting no bullish candles, so there was no strength at this time for buyers to continue pushing because we didn't have a bullish candle close. Now, if we did, then that would make more sense to get a retracement. So let's go to our 15 minute. Okay, we see 15 minute pretty much kind of stall out in this area here. Let's go ahead and extend this out to the right. Okay, boom. Okay, let's see. We could also map out this level of support here. Boom. Okay. Okay, so we had. Okay, so this was 9 p.m. We seen price found support, retrace, found a level of resistance. So now we want to look for a bearish transition to execute sell positions to anticipate a break of like this 28.57 level to find a new lower low. So price, as it found resistance with this bullish bearish candle, this was 10 o'clock. I was on the smaller time frames, pretty much waiting for a break of support and a retrace to execute those sells. So this could have been your first entry opportunity here. Now I was targeting these lower levels of support, so I definitely wanted to see. I think it was a little lower than this. Now, well, this could have definitely been a good target as well, just because that was the lowest point before we had this strong bullish push to the upside. This was your main higher low point here. So this would have been your final TP. Now let's go back down to the 5 minute time frame. So 5 minute time frame, this would have been your candle confirmation. As soon as you had this lower high bearish engulfing formation, you could have anticipated that we were going to hold that level of resistance and break that support to target lower lows. Now I did execute sell opportunities in this area after initially trying to execute buys thinking we would get a retracement. So I did take a loss on those. Now I did get good sell entries here at around 11 o'clock, and I did decide to take a nap after that. Now during my nap, price did see about 100 points in profit and then retrace. Now fortunately, when I had woke up throughout the night, I woke up while I was in drawdown, and for some reason I didn't feel comfortable with this trade and ended up closing it. I should have been more patient to let price play out, but to also hold my stop loss since I already accepted the risk when I entered the trade, and I didn't do that. I closed for two reasons. I closed pretty much because I was already up for the week to start. Two, I closed because I already had taken a loss for the day and I didn't want to take another loss on the account. And three, I closed because I knew I shouldn't have been trading at that point since I already went over the amount of trades that I can take in a day. So for those reasons, I closed the trade early. Now, I could have held the trade for the reason that I was already in it and I accepted the risk like I had mentioned. Um, and it would have played out, you know what I mean? But sometimes, we gotta just accept those losses, accept those ones that we miss out on at the end of the day. But that's why we always come back and analyze, and we try and learn from mistakes or even things that could have saved us in the market. You know what I mean? These lessons are what pay us next week when we implement them into our trading execution, when we involve them into our next setup, then eventually it'll all make sense. You know what I mean? So yes, price would have hit my TP. Now let's say I was actively analyzing when I had woken up after my nap. How could I have executed on this to capture that next move and to potentially take full advantage of what I was anticipating earlier that night? So let's go ahead and delete this. Now we see here prices forming higher lows. So when price retrace, we tested this level of support, got back above, formed a higher low, potentially anticipating that we would break that level of resistance and get that overall retracement. We can target this level of resistance to see if it gets broken. So if it gets broken, then we could see those buys, but if we maintain below, then we could definitely see sells. So as price is respecting this minor higher low opportunity, we can draw out this random line to see how support is holding. Now support held here, tested resistance for a third time based off this area and our initial area. And then we got a bearish engulfing, which took about 5, 10, 15, 20, which took about 40 minutes overall. Then you could have definitely entered here around 4:40 a.m. with your stop above the high. You could have still been targeting those same lows at like 28.36. Now if you missed this entry, you got that break of support here, then price retrace giving you a variation at around 5:25 a.m., which could have gave you a better R to R, because you could have definitely placed your stop loss right above that high and still targeted the same area for about a 104 R to R. So that would have been a solid trade as well. Let's see how now we can look at the market to analyze for this upcoming week. Yeah, so hopefully that breakdown makes sense based off those levels going into Thursday. I was definitely anticipating those sells pretty heavy and just missed out just because I went to sleep. I could have definitely been actively looking at the charts, and I could have potentially took full advantage of the move, but it happens. We miss out on some of those. Okay, so let's see. We're still bearish. I just want to get a good idea of what I'm looking at going into next week. You still have these lower high opportunities. Can I draw some sort of random line to see how price is holding? Okay. Based off for 30 minutes. Okay, have support here. Hmm. 1 hour time frame. On a 1 hour time frame, you have a good level of support in here. You can even do something like this here. Okay, I think this looks good how I'm looking at it. Okay, so let's see, go back to the daily. Daily close bearish and exhausted. This is our main level of structure. So now that we're trading below this area here that was holding as resistance and support. Now this is holding. Okay, so this is good. We have good structure. We see how price is flowing right now. So just based off of structure, the overall move that I would want to see, just because this 28,880 area is a strong level of interest, I would definitely want to see price pull back from where it's at now. So we see here we had price play this level 2880 to 2882 as support here, sat in like, so this was support, resistance, a higher low, lower high, broke below, price played as resistance in this area and exhausted again here. So what I would like to see, I would definitely love to see this move. Now I don't know how fast it can happen. I don't know how soon it can happen, but just based off of the way structure is flowing and how price has been respecting this level, I could see this level get hit as a lower high, and then we continue to push bearish. Now this can be a good play based off of your weekly time frame. Now weekly time frame can give us a wick to the upside and then push back bearish, following up with the resistance that we formed off the weekly and how strong volume has been. And it can also be a good start to the monthly candle to get a top wick if it's going to push bearish back to these previous all-time highs. So that's just kind of an idea. Now of course that's going to take some time. um, so honestly, going into this new week, what I would like to see, if I'm going to target buys to get to 28.80. Um, let's see, let's see. Mm, so price found support in this area here. You have resistance. You have resistance holding here. Price break above. Found support. Okay. This is what I maybe want to see, and maybe it could happen. Maybe not. Maybe it's a far fetch. But this is just how I'm anticipating the market. So we see here price found support, found a higher low. Then you get like a potential shift in the market based off your 5 minute time frame. So we can definitely see price. You could definitely see price uh, form a higher high wherever that point may be, whether it's here at 28.60, 28.65, and we never actually get a higher low, or price can fold from where it's at here, get that higher low, and then push bullish. Now, exactly where will I be looking for a higher low? Somewhere in this zone here, whether we're respecting this last 5 minute higher low, whether we're respecting this 5 minute area of interest as a higher low, or we're playing as a level of support on this level of resistance here with this blue random line. So honestly, price can even respect all these levels on like the higher time frame, like your 4 hour or even 1 hour time frame. And for your 1 hour, that would make sense. You can even respect and see price pull back into this area here, and then push bullish, just because this is where your 1 hour time frame found a level of support and also found a level of resistance here based off your 1 hour time frame. So this can definitely be a good area of interest that you can target for buys, and that's going to be something that I'm going to pay attention to. So going into the new week, I will definitely be looking for sales if they get presented with enough confirmation. Now I maybe that looks something like this, and then you could potentially target new lows. If we get a lower high to form, then this can be something good to look at, and maybe to target these lows down here again. But for the most part, if we get that higher low opportunity and price is showing weakness for sellers, and buyers are making an effort by seeing engulfings and maybe seeing like minor levels of resistance get broken, then I would definitely be looking to execute buys. But it definitely has to be during London session. I will not trade during Asian session, and that is something I told myself. It has to be like an A plus setup with multiple confirmations for me to even consider it. But yeah, man. So hopefully you guys learned something from my gold breakdown, from the trades I took, why I took them, and how I pretty much managed them. And hopefully you guys can take something away from my projection going into gold for the new week. But yeah, man. Hopefully you guys ended the month of February strong. I wish you guys the best of luck in March, man, and let's make the most of it. And I'll see you guys on the next one. And yeah, man, keep killing it, and we'll talk soon. Peace.